Hey comic book fans, welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Geezers, and welcome all you Sea of Tranquility viewers who have drifted over here.
Yes, indeed.
We have a very special episode that might be censored, so we're going to do the douchebags of comics.
That's
today.
right. Those scumbag characters that nobody likes, but you know what? They were written to be exactly that, right?
So super antagonistic.
Super antagonist. And no matter what comes out of their mouths, you just cringe and you're like, oh, that character.
This was suggested by a viewer, and we like the idea, so we're running with it. So I hope you like it.
So enjoy this little rant on some characters that were just put in place, so we dislike them. So the first one, and this guy has changed a bit over the years, but man, early on,
he was a
Clint Barton, otherwise known as Hawkeye, and there he is right there, was a complete a-hole. I mean, literally, it's like he was put on this earth to join the Avengers and just be the biggest thorn in the side of Captain America, Quicksilver, and Scarlet Witch, especially during that kind of run there where that was the Avengers team. And
egomaniac complainer.
Absolutely. And immature, lazy, he hated authority. I mean, we could have taken out so many different scenarios and so many books from this time where he's just given shit to Captain America, who's the
always got to question Cap's authority, right?
Always, saying, "Oh, you're boring us with all your, mumbo jumbo and so on and so forth." And how many times did he get into like little rows with Cap or Quicksilver? Certainly, or try to come on to the Scarlet Witch. I mean, just like, and how about like when he was battling for the affections of Black Widow with Daredevil? Then too, right? I mean, he just early on, man, Clint was just not a good guy at all. Like, just a real.
And he's a hero. He is a hero. He's not a supporting character with no powers.
Yeah. Every night he would redeem himself, obviously, because he is a hero. But every time you think you're getting to know the character of Clint Barton, otherwise known as Hawkeye, you're like, I really don't like this guy at all. But they changed his character a little bit over the years, and he wasn't just as reprehensible as he was. But how many times did he quit the Avengers because he thought he wasn't getting the accolades and all the superpowered guys were the ones and it just
he is basically a Green Arrow ripoff from DC Comics.
That's exactly what he is, yeah.
But Green Arrow wasn't a jerk like this guy.
No, Green Arrow was kind of witty and debonair, and he also had the gift of the gab and whatnot too. But he didn't come across as a complete jerk like Hawkeye did for a good long time. So so our first pick today is Hawkeye. Just
Why don't you take number 2?
All right, I'll take number 2. Kind of along those same lines. We're going to go with the Human Torch. All right, so so Johnny Storm, a young teenager, right, when he first punk, who thinks he knows it all, and how many times have we seen him over the years, especially early on, getting into it with Ben Grimm, the Thing, as well as his brother-in-law, Reed, eventually his brother-in-law, sometimes even putting his sister down, always mouthing off to Spider-Man, and that's a perfect example of two teenagers, right, who should have a lot in common and never liked each other, really.
No.
They worked together, they fought a lot, but man, Johnny Storm thought he was the shit.
Yeah.
I did a nice car, I can flame on, I get all the chicks, whatever. And I tell you, some of these old Fantastic Four stories from back in the 60s, the way he acts, you would never be able to do that kind of stuff today.
No.
His whole attitude towards women and everything in general, really, again, that was a different age.
Chauvinistic was
absolutely.
Chauvinism was A-OK back then.
Oh, without a doubt. And some of the things he would say, and I mean, how about the way he acted when like Crystal and him were together, and then she went to with
Quicksilver. Humans.
Yeah, and exactly the way he acted. I mean, just such a whiny, immature brat at times.
Yeah,
and that's the way they played him up. Right?
Yeah, like a spoiled kid.
Yeah, that's how that is exactly how, with the exception of Peter Parker, all the younger characters, that's how they played them up to be early on, unfortunately.
Spoiled brat. Yeah. Look, he wasn't afraid to go against Namor.
Oh, no, he thought he could beat anybody. Yeah, he literally would jump into any fight with anybody. It didn't matter, right? So
who else you got?
Well, you can't have this conversation without the god of mischief, Loki, who, quite frankly, I mean, Loki is always a villain, but he is like
major asshole.
Oh my god.
Major, especially towards Thor.
Towards Thor, yeah, certainly.
Mankind, Asgard.
The Asgardians. I mean, did he like anybody? Nobody, right? I mean, is there anybody that... I mean, even like other villains that he teamed up with, he didn't like that either.
Like the Absorbing Man?
Like the Absorbing Man, like the Wrecker. I mean, it's just like... Even like his allies, he hated. I mean, just like nobody could trust him. And I think one of the things that the biggest injustices in like the Marvel films, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is even though Loki is very well played by Tom Hiddleston or whatever his name is, that whole reprehensible side of him, like he's too nice.
Missing.
He's too nice.
Yeah.
Loki is not nice.
In the comics, he's downright evil.
Oh, he's just awful. There are no redeeming qualities about him at all. There is never anything nice you could say about him. There's never any scenes where you kind of think, oh, maybe Loki's coming around. No, forget it.
I think this is one of the greatest covers with Loki on it.
Yeah, it's
and
definitely
it's
good.
Strange Tales.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the run.
Just the ultimate manipulator.
Yes.
Right? The ultimate manipulator. And just so reprehensible. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've read stories with Loki and I'm just reading, I'm shaking my head. I'm like, God, this guy just sucks. But that's what's so good about him, right? Because he's like the perfect, just absolutely hateful villain.
And a great antagonist.
Absolutely. He is the quintessential one, I think. Yeah.
Speaking of antagonists...
Yeah, there's more, folks. We got some good ones here.
And this is a hard subject to tackle.
Yeah.
Because most of these are supporting characters, not heroes or villains.
Right.
So it's hard to come through. But for the Hulk, I gave it some serious thought. And I have two from the Hulk. We have General Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
And Major Glenn Talbot.
Yes.
But Major Glenn Talbot is more like the antagonistic asshole against Bruce Banner and the Hulk.
Because he's jealous of him. Yeah, exactly.
For Betty Ross's affection.
Right.
And he does marry Betty Ross at one point.
Right. But he would forever be jealous and fearful of Banner, right?
Yeah,
exactly. So, but Ross is a different story.
Yeah.
Because he is just so freaking thick-headed that he's got this hatred for the Hulk
and Banner,
and he refuses to see past it no matter what happens, no matter what logic is thrown at him.
So I picked a couple of covers with General Thunderbolt Ross on them, just to give you an idea.
Just an old stubborn warhorse.
Yeah.
I mean, right? I mean,
they make him out to be the perfect military jarhead.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
He's a general jarhead.
Yes.
Thick, narrow-minded.
To be thick.
Everything has to be his way.
Yes.
Never, ever is he a fan of Doc Samson trying to cure the Hulk.
Right. Yeah. Just wants him dead.
Wants him dead. Wants him out of... Always because the Hulk's a menace and a threat to national security. That whole grudge never gets dropped.
No.
Throughout the history of General Thunderbolt Ross.
Even in the face of logic that says there's nothing that you're ever going to do is going to be able to kill the Hulk. I mean, year after year after year after year, he still thinks there's a way he's going to do it. I'm like, dude, you're not going to do it. Get over it. Drop it already. But no, he's so... like, I mean, you said it perfectly. He's an old school jarhead, military jarhead, and he's an old dude. There is no way you're ever going to break him.
All he wants is his way, and he doesn't get it when he comes against the Hulk, because the Hulk is so powerful.
You just read these issues, and you're just like, oh, Ross, come on, man. Yeah. Drop it already. Holy cow.
He's a real dick. He is. Speaking of dicks, assholes, Flash Thompson.
One of the ultimate ones.
totally hates Peter Parker, but loves Spider-Man. There's a twist of irony right there. Yep. Very beautifully conceived by Stan the Man.
Yep.
Flash Thompson. And this was the first Spider-Man I ever bought. And ironically, it's Spider-Man, Peter Parker, coming to the aid of his number one hater,
That's right.
Flash Thompson.
Flash Thompson.
And it's against his greatest enemy, the Green Goblin. But this is the third Green Goblin, really.
Yes.
It's the psychiatrist. Who's the son? Harry?
Harry.
Right? This is Harry's psychiatrist. But this is a 5-part story, which we've done before in the past. But I'm giving you all the spoiler alerts I can.
I was reading recently an old issue of Spider-Man where, and it's really early on. So Flash was dating, remember Liz Allen, the blonde, right?
Okay.
So she's dating
Flash.
She's dating Flash, and of course Flash is constantly picking on Peter. So Peter does a couple of things that all of a sudden Liz finds that she's oddly attracted to his intellect and whatnot. So she starts like getting kind of sick of Flash and like wanting to study with Peter. You know,
because Flash is the jock,
right? And he's just like, Flash is incensed. He's plotting
when
all these things.
When
he's seeing that pipsqueak, right? I'm going to kick his ass, right, and all that stuff. But yet, as soon as like, Spider-Man's around the corner. Oh, my hero, Spidey's the best, and will defend. Like he at one point was going against Jonah all the time, J. Jonah Jameson, because he's like, I can't believe how you're picking on Spidey. He's our hero. He's the greatest thing ever. Yeah, that's what Flash was saying. So, yeah.
And you just said it. The biggest asshole in comics, biggest douchebag is J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
That's what we think.
He takes Thunderbolt Ross to a new level.
Ross isn't even close.
Not even close. As bad as he is. Yeah.
The ultimate hatred for any character comes from this man, J. Jonah Jameson. Another thick-headed blockhead who will never see the good of Spider-Man and what he's bringing to society. Fighting crime, protecting the good citizens of Metropolis, New York City. And look, he's trying to, in this story, he's trying to frame Peter Parker and say he knows that he's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And another chance to threaten Peter Parker's secret identity.
Yep.
It's been done before with the Green Goblin, and they do it again with J. Jonah Jameson. I only picked a few books to show you. He's so obsessed, he gets inside the Spider Slayer.
Many times, yeah.
I could have pulled out issue 58.
Yep.
But I didn't bother. I thought you were going to bring some, but I didn't bother. But any chance he can get to try and bring down Spider-Man, he's going to take an opportunity. He's paid money out of his own pocket.
And a lot of it.
To go after Spider-Man. And Spider-Man defeats this so-called Spider Slayer robot, but it's great.
Over and over again.
And then ironically, I pulled this to show you that as much as J. Jonah Jameson hates Spider-Man, here's Spider-Man and J. Jonah Jameson connected with like a handcuff bomb. So again, this is a situation where Peter Parker Spider-Man is saving J. Jonah Jameson, and it means nothing.
Nothing.
The hatred overshadows the good of Spider-Man. So I just kind of pulled this out as an example. But yeah, J. Jonah Jameson was the biggest douchebag in comics.
There have been instances where, Jonah has seen it with his own two eyes that some other villain will kill someone that he knows, and he will still find a way to blame Spider-Man for it.
Yes.
I mean, he's just absolutely blind.
And on the other side of the other side of the coin for that is whenever Spider-Man does something good to save somebody, it was rigged. It was a setup.
Yeah, exactly.
They were in it together, like Spider-Man defeats a villain, and it's like, they were in cahoots. Just to make me think that he's a do-gooder.
Yeah.
He never accepted anything good coming from Spider-Man.
How about that whole storyline with his son, right? John Jameson, the Man-Wolf.
I was going to pull those books, but
that's a perfect. Whereas he knows his son has got this affliction and turns into this killer, right? But yet it's his son, right? So he still tries to blame Spider-Man.
Spider-Man had something to do with it.
Of course, right?
It's all his fault.
The moon fell from the sky and crashed into Earth. Spider-Man must have had something to do with that,
so
right?
There you have it.
Yeah.
For this particular episode of Comic Book Douchebags.
Yeah.
Even though our title won't reflect it.
No, it'll say something a little nicer, but and vote for your favorite out of all these, or your most reprehensible. I don't know, man. Who would you think? I would say it's got to be Jonah or Loki for me, man. They're both terrible.
I got a drawing that touches on the subject.
Oh, nice.
We didn't mention either. Dr. Doom.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Doom looks like he's been eating some cream puffs lately, huh?
Number 26. I drew this off the top of my head. In other words, I didn't take a comic book
and look at
and use a reference.
Well, you got the whole cowl and the face pretty good.
Hey, you want to take a look at that real quick?
Yes.
It's issue 26.
You got the disapproval code is back.
We're back down to 2 cents.
Doom has no patience for games unless they are his own. Reveal your purpose in drawing me here, Wild Bill, or face the wrath of Doom.
Those are actual words taken from a Marvel team-up comic book with him and Spider-Man. The only word that has been changed is Wild Bill.
Wow.
He was talking to some other character.
There you go.
You remember that one where they go back in time to medieval times?
Oh, yeah.
With the Salem witch hunt?
Yes, that's a good one.
Doom is saying that to the evil warlock that pulled him into the
Gotcha.
So I read those lines and thought it was great because I opened that book just to get a visual reference of the colors, but I didn't take any. Like I have used comics to do Iron Man and Big Ass Whore, as a reference, but I drew Doom off the top of my head.
Cool. And notice, for all of you who are going to ask, it doesn't say Dr. Doom. It just says Doom, so we're not going to get in trouble, I don't think. So
I don't care. Yeah. But this was actually... I drew this based on a request. Someone had requested that I try and draw Dr. Doom in the Fantastic Four, and it's just too much.
Thing would probably be tough, I would assume.
Yeah. Well,
Mr. Fantastic.
The sad news is, guys, I'm not taking any more requests. I'm going to do what I want. Too much pressure, guys. I don't want to sound like a whiner, but I hope you like it. I'm just joking around. But yeah, this is my version of Dr. Doom. Another douchebag in comics, you could say.
I like how the speech bubble is coming from his armpit.
Yeah, well, I couldn't... I didn't want to come across... I just did that this morning, too. I didn't draw the bubble at all. But there was no way for me to get it into his mouth without coming across his cape.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room.
So, yeah, a little armpit humor there, I guess. Hey, it works.
It works. It works. I'm a big Dr. I think he did a good job on it.
You like that? Thanks. I had, the cowl is so hard to do, as I had explained previously in Satan's Nightmare. Yeah. That was hard. It's hard to do that evil gothic gown, the hood.
Hey, look, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a Dr. Doom depiction from, what was the joke series? From
I know exactly what you're saying.
Not
Brand
Not Brandeck. That's
yep. Yes.
Yeah, that's
cool.
Nice job.
So that's issue 26, and I'm fresh out of drawings. So
time back to the drawing board, right?
Anyway, I'm Wild Bill saying thanks for being here. We hope you enjoyed this particular episode of Douchebags in Comics.
Yep. I think we got the major ones.
Yes, we covered the bases. Thanks for the suggestion, Guy. That was a good one. We had fun with it. We ran with it. Hope you liked it. So if you do, you need to click the like button and always click the notification bell so you'll be kept in the loop every time we have a new episode coming out. You know what's going on. And as always, spread the word. Word of mouth is the best advertising. Tell your comic book loving friends, comic book geezers, and tell them to check us out. We thank you for that. Yeah. And as always, we thank you for your comments, your support, and thanks for watching. Wild Bill saying thanks for being here. And Pete?
Yeah, I would say if you like these kind of rant style videos, we enjoy doing them. To feed us some suggestions in the comments. So because we generally every now and then when we see a good one, we run with it. So it's fun to kind of just let loose and talk about stuff.
It was a good idea.
Yeah, it was a good idea. So
thank you.
So thanks, guys. We appreciate it. And for Wild Bill, I am Pete. We'll see you real soon. Remember, what's right around the corner? October. Halloween Havoc here on Comic Book Users. So stay tuned for lots of cool monster and horror episodes coming up throughout the month of October to celebrate Halloween. So stay tuned for that and a lot more. See you real soon. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys. Bye.